When we talk about Malaysia, the world often sees the Twin Towers or the beaches of Langkawi. But look closer. Something massive is happening beneath the surface. Right now, in 2025, Malaysia is undergoing its most aggressive infrastructure transformation since the 1990s. We're moving away from traditional manufacturing into the era of high-tech domination. From the jungles of Borneo to the Straits of Johor, excavators are digging and cranes are rising. We are talking about investments exceeding 100 billion ringgit. These are not just buildings. They are economic engines designed to propel Malaysia into a high-income nation status. Welcome to Bola Build. I'm your host. Today we are doing a deep dive into the top 5 mega projects that will define Malaysia for the next 50 years. Let's break down the engineering, the money, and the controversy. Let's build.
In this new facility, we are ready to innovate. Let's build the future together.
We start at number 5, at the busiest border crossing on planet Earth, the Johor-Singapore Causeway. For decades, hundreds of thousands of Malaysians have suffered through 3 to 4 hour traffic jams daily just to get to work. It's a productivity killer. Enter the RTS Link, the rapid transit system. This is a 4-kilometer rail shuttle connecting Bukit Shagar in JB directly to Woodlands North in Singapore. But here's the technical game changer. It uses a single co-located customs, immigration, and quarantine (CIQ) facility. What does that mean? It means you clear immigration for both countries at the point of departure. You get on the train, and when you arrive, you just walk out. No more double checks. With a capacity of 10,000 passengers per hour per direction, this project is already triggering a property boom in Johor Bahru. Condos are rising, rents are increasing, and the Shenzhen of Malaysia dream is finally becoming a reality. By 2026, the nightmare of the causeway will be history. Moving north to number 4, the Pearl of the Orient, Penang. Penang contributes heavily to Malaysia's exports, but it has a major problem. It ran out of land. The factories are full. The solution? Silicon Island. This is a massive reclamation project off the southern coast. We're talking about creating 2,300 acres of land from the open sea. It is an engineering marvel, involving massive sand dredging and soil stabilization techniques. Of course, this project has faced fierce opposition from environmental groups and local fishermen concerned about marine life. It was scaled down from 3 islands to just 1 major island to balance ecology and economy. Why is this risk necessary? Because the global supply chain is shifting. Companies like Intel, Bosch, and Osram need space for their advanced packaging plants now. Silicon Island is designed to be the green tech park of the future, powered by renewable energy. It is Penang's bid to remain the undisputed Silicon Valley of the East for another generation.
Look, Mama, look! So fast now!
It is beautiful, isn't it? We are almost there.
At number 3, we cross the South China Sea to East Malaysia. For over 50 years, the people of Sabah and Sarawak relied on dangerous, single-lane roads that turned into mud rivers during the monsoon. The Pan-Borneo Highway changes everything. Stretching over 2,000 kilometers, this is not just a road, it is the spinal cord of Borneo. It connects remote towns, indigenous tribes, and coastal cities into one seamless logistics network. The engineering challenge here is insane. Building a 4-lane highway through dense rainforests, peat swamps, and mountainous terrain requires massive cut-and-fill operations and hundreds of bridges. And the best part? It is toll-free. Economically, this opens up the interior of Borneo for tourism and agriculture. A farmer in a remote village can now transport their crops to the city in hours instead of days. It is a project of dignity and equality for East Malaysia. Number 2 is a phenomenon that exploded almost overnight, the data center boom. While the world was focused on chips, Malaysia quietly became the data center powerhouse of Southeast Asia. Why here? Why now? 2 reasons. Singapore put a moratorium on new data centers due to power consumption, and the AI revolution demands massive computing power. Malaysia stepped in with abundant land, stable electricity, and water for cooling. In Johor's Sedanak Tech Park in Cyberjaya, we see multi-billion-dollar campuses rising from YTL, NVIDIA, GDS, and Microsoft. These are Tier 4 facilities, the highest standard in the world. Critics say data centers don't create many jobs, but they are wrong. They create high-value ecosystem jobs. We need power engineers, cooling specialists, and cybersecurity experts. This puts Malaysia on the map as the digital backbone of the ASEAN region. And finally, the crown jewel at number 1, the East Coast Rail Link, ECRL. This is the most expensive and complex infrastructure project in Malaysian history, 665 kilometers, 20 stations, connecting Kota Bharu in the northeast to Port Klang in the west. Technically, this is a beast. It features the Genting Tunnel, over 16 kilometers long, drilled through the hard granite of the Titiwangsa Mountains using massive tunnel boring machines. But the real value is geopolitics and logistics. Currently, ships travel through the congested Strait of Malacca and loop around Singapore. The ECRL acts as a land bridge. Cargo can be unloaded at Kuantan Port, railed across the peninsula, and reloaded at Port Klang, saving precious time. It balances the economy. For decades, the West Coast got all the money. The ECRL brings development to Kelantan, Terengganu, and Pahang. It is controversial, it is expensive, but it is the key to Malaysia's future sovereignty and trade. These 5 projects represent a new era, an era where Malaysia stops competing on cheap labor and starts competing on infrastructure, technology, and connectivity. The dust is settling, the steel is rising, and the map is changing. Which project do you think will have the biggest impact on your wallet? Is it the RTS Link or the AI data centers? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. If you learned something new today, smash that like button and subscribe to Bully Build. Malaysia Bully. See you in the next one.